HBCU Original presents A Seat at the Mic, where real voices from the culture speak their truth. New guests, bold topics, no filter, only on HBCU Original. Listen. Welcome. This is HBCU Original. This is the Seat at the Mic. This is one of our new and one of our side podcasts from the main one, which is the HBCU Original. With the sports and everything like that. But this particular side is for more worldly topics. We're going to bring on a lot of special guests, people that give you information in life, and talk about just, things in general in the news. But today's topic, today's message is simply about the elephant in the room. And I'm going to bring on a guest before I even talk about that. The elephant in the room. I got my brother Thomas. He's coming in right now to see. Good evening. Good evening.
How you doing, good brother? Big brother Vince, how you feeling, man?
Oh man, listen, man, we got a lot of things to talk about. I'm doing great, man. Actually, man,
It's good to see you again.
And listen. For you who don't know, this is my brother, Thomas. Listen, he has a book out, 101 Things You Should Know About Jail. Okay, when you get a chance, look him up, buy this book. It's in all the stores. Well, that's more importantly, Thomas, today's topic is really talking about the elephant in the room, Donald Trump, and the reaction of, to what he signed into legislation as far as bringing the troops into Washington, D.C. to what he calls to quell the crime. And we just wanted to talk about that today and really dive into that, what that means, what that entails, and, just ask, man, general questions. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, Vince, it's like y'all always get me on to talk about Trump, who initially, when he first got, first, let me just do a disclaimer, do a quick little intro. And I'm Timeless Thomas, and I've evolved into the Earth Angel. I'm your go-to man pretty much to answer any psychological or sociological or socioeconomical or behavioral economical inquiries that people might have. I've been doing a lot of that lately, and I've been running a lot of human experience, tracking people in real time, tracking projections, and just doing a lot of in real time behavioral experiments, man. I've been acutely studying human behavior. And so now, which brings us to, and obviously, like you said, I'm the author of 101 Things You Should Know About Jail, which is a must-have. It's a must-read. But to move forward and to jump right into your question about Donald Trump, like I say, when he got elected initially, I was in alignment with a lot of his decisions and a lot of the moves he was making. And so now that he's almost, 4, 5, 6 months into the term, my thoughts have not changed one bit. I still stand behind him. I believe that he's a good leader, as far as like on a national level. Like he represents what I represent, which is strength and power, and like he's relevant with the times. Like we're in the now, and a lot of people have Flintstone ideologies of how they think the presidency should go. A lot of people have outdated information on what they think war tactics look like. And one thing I will say, it's a disclaimer. So I have a lot of different associates, a few different organizations I belong to. So I do want to say that my views only reflect me personally. Anybody that I'm affiliated with has nothing to do with any of my views, thoughts, or sentiments, or even my research. My data exclusively belongs to the Timeless Thomas Academy, where we acutely study human behavior. But as Trump and his latest move, it's a big move. He's bringing the National Guards or whoever to DC, which I believe is a good move. And so last time when he was in office, I was in DC doing some business, and he had that thing set up nice too. It was a lot of Army tanks around the White House at that time. Trump is zero tolerance. and I'm with it. But what I will say, because I've been getting some of this across my desk anyway, I've been getting a lot of inquiries and a lot of questions and backlash. People saying, "Well, that's just going to be an assault on the black community, and he's trying to go after the youngins and the YNs," which
Mhm.
I have to totally disagree with. So what people fail to realize is that, you know, outside all the bright lights and the neon lights and all the opportunities that exist, in order to have a strategic, powerful position on a national and international level, you got to run a tight ship and you got to be shrewd. And a lot of people are not going to understand your decisions or even like you personally, your character, and some more stuff, right? And so, especially people that don't have the ability to really think outside the box. So, first, I'll answer it on a local level. So, him putting the National Guards or whoever, the military in DC, it's a it's one more indicator that he does what he says he'll do, right? He's almost 10 for 10 on saying he's going to do something and then doing it, right? But that puts the rest of the country on notice that if you feel like it's an assault on our babies or on our community or whatever, that puts the rest of the country on notice that you got like a slim window to tighten up your community. Because if you can't control your own babies, it's just like at school. You can't control the kids. You got to send them to the principal's office. If they can't control them, they got to go with the next level of punitive damage. And so we've had plenty of time. We've had all our lifetime with our babies in our communities. Trump only been in office for 5 minutes.
Mhm.
So if you don't see anything wrong with his, and then also you got to also remember that DC doesn't just have YNs and young black and brown people. It's a melting pot. It's a multicultural place. It's a multicultural piece of geography. And so a lot of people are going to be affected. But me doing a lot of community work in my own community and a lot of advocacy for voiceless people, I always remind them of the polarities of life. As much gunshots and yellow tape that we see, as much ODs we see on a daily basis, and all the trauma that we function in, just one zip code over, just a few tennis ball throws over, they don't see any of that. So we have to respect the balance and the citizens that are not taking part in the foolishness and the lower frequency activities. They want what they signed up for. They want peace, they want safety, and they deserve a good quality of life as well. So I'm not saying that it's right to launch any type of attack at all on our people or on our community. But what I am saying is we've had ample chance to deal with the shortcomings in our community. And now this is what it looks like when you don't deal with it. So the rest of the country is on notice. Unless they want martial law, unless they want national anarchy, then people need to tighten up because and that's one thing. Number two, this is Trump's office space. He's in DC. So it's just like if you have an office somewhere, you got people outside, vagrants and junkies and whoever else outside, panhandling or whatever. If that's your prospective place of doing business, you don't want your neighbors looking at you like you can't cut your own grass. So he has to set an international standard to say, look, if you come anywhere near where I'm at, this is what it looks like. So people are not really looking at the international scope. He's in dealings and engaging other people that have thousands of troops behind them, people that have one button to push that can turn your village into a parking lot. So he's got to let them know that, look, I'm sorry that a few people in certain zip codes in my town are going to be, really impacted, but this is an international thing going on, and I need to let them know if you come anywhere near DC, like it's going to, you're not going to make it. You're not even going to get to the airspace. And I'm glad that that he's doing that. Now, here's my suggestion for the people that don't like what he's doing. And I'm not speaking for Trump. And by all means, this is all my stuff, time and stuff. But if you don't like what he's doing, it is still a free land. This is the time to call your grandmom in North Carolina. This is the time to call your sister-in-law in Connecticut and say, look, DC's about to get crazy. I'm out of here. This is the time to bail. We still have options. It's not communist. He's not saying whoever lives here has to stay. And I think they got some type of program. Even if you want to move out the country, I think they're financing that. Whoever wants to go is not on house arrest. You can go. And so there's nothing to the chronic complainers. There's nothing holding you back. You can go complain the next town over. But I want him to run that tight shift on DC because there's an international pair of eyes that are watching his every move. That's one. And two, real quick, two, I'm going to come up for air. a real quick number two, we got to remember Donald Trump is just a name. There's a bunch of constituency. There's other people that influence his decisions. He's just the front man. And again, I gotta say it, man. I'm 100% behind the majority of his decisions because I rule with an iron fist as well. I'm a very good guy. I'm a very good guy. I'll give you the shirt off my back. I love helping seniors, but I'm not a nice guy. If you violate my boundaries, I'll act accordingly. And so that's where I'm at with that, Vince. So I hope this was a pretty good opener. Get everybody provoke a little thought and just see some other views. Because a lot of times people think it's all about us. Oh my God, he's attacking me. But you had your whole life to be unattacked.
To follow behind you, man. I watch some of these TikTok videos and Instagram, and I'm seeing a lot of disturbing things from our young people, man. They're into some demonic activities, man. I mean, shooting on camera, stabbing, fighting. I mean, all types of stuff. They're into all types of stuff, man. And we're at a crossroad, man. And that road is about to be, obliterated because they are doing crimes and they don't even care of the repercussions. They don't care about getting locked up. They don't care being shot at. They don't care of somebody attacking them. They just, some of these videos are disturbing, man. Like you said before, where you got 500 kids or 100 kids ransacking stores, running into the 7-Elevens or whatever it may be, Wawa's. I mean, it's happening all over the place, not just DC. You got San Francisco, LA. They're doing it in New York. They're doing it in Miami. They're doing it in Philadelphia. They're doing it everywhere, man. And other than the thing is, it's not just African American kids either. It's Caucasian kids, it's Hispanic kids. But I think they only show spotlight on us, but it's happening all over, man. And I've seen it down the shore in Jersey, Atlantic City, and it wasn't just black kids too. So these kids are just really out of control.
So again, with respects to perception and algorithm, it depends on what timeline you're on. Because again, like for like yourself and some of your partners and comrades and constituents, you guys represent Black excellence. You guys represent Black men that are upright, that went to school, that have good jobs, that are good community men, good family men. And there's a lot of Black and brown, even hip hop children that do not participate in that low frequency behavior, that do not participate in savage behavior, that do not participate in uncouth behavior. And like you say, the spotlight is on the few that do. So if somebody is controlling your perception by pushing certain things through the algorithm of your timeline, and every time you turn it on, you always see a crazy video, you would think that that's the way that the world is. But there's plenty of, we have so many Black doctors, Black lawyers, Black inventors, Black businessmen, entrepreneurs, and not just Black and brown. We have plenty of people that have bypassed, civil rights. They're at the table. They're in the offices. They're around the decision makers. And unfortunately, sometimes then people get a bad label, like an Uncle Tom or something, as if somebody has the audacity to tell me what I'm going to do with my Blackness. Like I'm still Black in any space, whether I'm advocating for this or that, or whether I don't really see what they're doing wrong. What I see is the world that me and you grew up in no longer exists. So we're a lot of times assessing the behavior of our younger people based on how we came up. This is a digital world. They don't know life without cameras. So all they're doing is just living life. They don't know the polarity to that. They don't know the behavior you should be doing off camera because they were born on camera. Since they were born, there's a camera. When you go to the welfare office, you get your food stamps, your Medicaid, you get your whatever, your WIC, and you also get your free tablet or your free phone. They're born right into it. So they don't know how to not do it on camera. They're born to the euphoric dopamine hit of digital frequency. Like they're completely digital. And so we can't fault them for being normal.
I want to come right behind what you just said. even so, they're born with these tools in their hand. Doesn't give them a right to act out of control, though. I mean, and I know they know right from wrong.
Well,
So
so and I only can advocate for the ignorant, right?
right,
Again, we're gauging it from the way we know right from wrong. So you got to remember they basically raised their self. How did we get to this point? All of this ignorance that they're doing. Well, the people that are supposed to be guiding them and mentoring them, a lot of us have gotten demasculated. A lot of us are under addiction, under extreme attack, mass incarceration. And then there's the cancellation program, people killing each other. Who would be the good uncle or the good father? Who would be the
well,
president?
hold on. Hey, Thomas, come
Standards
on,
for
man.
the
You gotta
community.
stop that, man. You gotta stop that. Not all. Listen, not every African American family is in child is growing up where you got parents on drugs or this addiction or whatever it may be, in jail. Not every African American family
Well,
has that. I don't want to hear that.
no,
Dude, so
I didn't
you
say
got
that,
some
but
kids.
I'm talking about as
You got some kids.
respect to leadership and role models who would tell them how to behave on or offline. That's what I'm saying. There's a shortage. There is a shortage.
Thomas, there's plenty of households who tell the kids right from wrong and what's not to be done outside the household, and they still go and do it. These kids are just out of control, bro. It has nothing to do with the household anymore. These
Well,
kids are just
well,
listen.
you're right. It really doesn't have anything to do with the households because they're being raised internationally. These kids are going on these social media sites, the TikToks, the Instagrams. They
Right,
have international peer pressure. So it's different. Whatever you taught them in the living room, that goes out the window because they were multitasking when you tried to teach them that, if you were there to teach them. So you know what I mean. It's not again. It's nothing conventional. It's there's. This
yeah,
is not the world we grew up in, and also what looks like right from wrong for me and you is something different. And another thing too. Look at all the stuff that we did seeking identity with underdeveloped minds, right? And so the good thing about it was they didn't have that many cameras back then, so we got away with God knows what. And then by the time it was time to
all
get
types
caught,
of stuff.
straightened ourselves out, and we got away with it and moved on with our life. For them, it's unfair. They're under a microscope. Every little mistake, every bad decision, every functioning and trauma reaction is recorded. So if you fine comb anybody's life, you're going to see especially if you're only looking for the dirt, you're going to see it, and it's going to stand out. And so I'm advocating not for their behavior, but for their ignorance. You know,
Yeah,
they don't know better. What me and you think a know better is, it's not. They don't know better. And then again, look what they're up against. Me and you just had to worry about having the sneakers that was just as good as the dude in our classroom. They got international peer pressure. They got online peer pressure. They got to keep up, or else. Which means, if keeping up means, well, in Chicago they did this type of shooting. If I'm holding it down, that means that's what we have to do. It's the same. It's the same thing. It's just like fighting. Only thing now, fighting has evolved to shooting because again, most of the men that would have trained them for self defense are out the picture for some type of warfare or another, and so they're raising themselves. So now the new fighting is shooting. So
mm,
just as we used to get in fist fights and scuffles and gangbangs, and we all live to see another day, they don't. They get in gunfights, and there is no other day to see. And it's just what it is. And so here's the thing, real quick. So a lot of times we want it to be something else. We will make out better as a people if we deal with what is instead of all the what ifs or what could have been or what should have been. How about if we meet the world right where it's at in real time? This is where we're at. So where do we go from here? Based on solution. Where do we go from here? Because as you see, the national and international hierarchy is at zero tolerance. They're like, look, we're going to make our moves with or without there, because then we're going to change laws. We're going to switch things around. Either they'll adapt or they'll get left behind. But the world's going to keep moving. So I don't like soft people. I don't like people that are critical without solution. If
mm.
if if there's a solution, bring it to because I'm saying that's what Donald Trump's all about. If you got a good play, he'll back it. If you got something where you think it'd be a good fit, he gave us the right to homeschool our own kids. We didn't even jump on that wave yet, and gave
Let
us
me let me
$10,000 fund to do it. We're still trying to push them back and let somebody else teach them. We still need a break because we're oppressed, functioning in trauma, trying to figure out how to make A
mm,
to B. He gave us back property of our children. He said, look, you ain't got to go through the system. You want to get married? You're 5 years in, okay, you're married. Go do the married thing. We're not taking advantage of these great opportunities. We're so used to being spoon fed by the slave master. Now he give us a little freedom. We don't know what to do with it. It's like not the placebo effect, but I forget what that thing's called. But when you get held hostage so long, when he lets you go, you don't even want to run. He's
But
opening doors.
Thomas,
He's like, bro, do your
but Tom,
thing.
but Thomas, I'm talking about this though. I'm talking about a lot of the actions that they're doing now. A lot of the actions that they're doing now are harming their own community. I mean by this, if you ransacking your grocery store and you only got one grocery store within your community, what happens when that grocery store leaves? Now you got
Yeah,
to. So what happens when those stores leave? Those jobs leave. You got to
yeah, yeah,
think and use your
yeah.
brain. You got to think.
But again, Vince,
You can't survive at a corner store eating food.
but
Like,
again, right? But hold on, let's have this thing. But again, right? Me and you are speaking at adult level. You're not you, but people are trying to place adult wisdom decisions on underdeveloped minds. These people are searching for identity. Some of them ain't even reached puberty. And you're expecting them to make a conscious socio-economic decision. They're not even there yet. Some of them hadn't even had their first date, never went to a prom. Their minds are underdeveloped. We're putting political responsibility on babies. You know what I mean? They don't understand yet. They haven't learned the lessons that we not only mastered, but we forgot that we mastered them.
well, guess
You know
what?
what I mean?
It's going to be a hard lesson for you when you don't got no food or a supermarket to shop at or a store to go shopping for whatever you need, and you got to go miles out or whatever out your
Well,
way just to eat.
well, here's the bottom line in one sentence. When the poor run out of things to eat, they have no choice but to eat the rich. So that's where catastrophe comes in. So what can we do? What can we do? Watch this, Vince. What can we do? We can get ahead of it. Now that we see it coming down the pike, we can prevent it. Now we can sell it. We can get the book out there to every household. Because like you said, your son, you either need to get this book or a book about the grave. Get this book or a book about the funeral parlor, one of the two. Because that's the outcome in the new world order where there's zero tolerance. In a world where there's zero tolerance for your behavior, you need either my
Yeah,
book or you
man.
need to get a book about a funeral parlor and
It's
life
getting ready to
insurance.
get
You need one of the
listen,
one of the two
listen,
books.
it's getting ready to get funky out here right now, and they don't even realize what's coming down the pipeline. It's getting ready to get funky. Trump is not playing, and they think it's a joke. A lot of these youngsters, they still think it's a joke. Like, okay, we'll
But I
see.
think, yeah, but Vince, we can't blame that on Trump. Trump's only been in office
No, no,
5 or
no,
6
no, no,
months.
no. I'm not playing on
We
Trump.
have to blame.
I'm
We
saying
have
that.
to put the blame where it goes, and the blame where it goes is on. I'm gonna tell you where the blame goes. Where a partial blame goes, right? Part of the blame is people that have the solutions, people that have access to the resource and have all the answers won't implement them.
Hmm.
Part of people like us as a people are not doing our due diligence. We're looking at these little young warriors, these little manufactured assassins that are our babies still, and like you say, we're dialoguing about them. We're doing all kind of stuff talking about them, but what we're not doing is helping them. We're not meeting them where they're at. So I got a solution. So since you asked me, I'll give a solution to the world. Maybe somebody will implement it. The first thing we got to do is meet them where they're at. The way that we do that is by building young ambassadors. They have to see someone that looks like them. If me and you come down the street and try to talk to them, we're OGs. They don't respect it from us. They think we don't understand, and that's respectable. We have to train young ambassadors who's their exact age, who can meet them exactly where they're at, to go in and do the work. And that's period. So we have to have ambassador training from community to community. If the gangs are 12 to 18 years old, that's who needs to go talk to them. Me and you never need to show up because once we show up, it's grandpa time and they really shut down. And they really shut down. So we really want to reach our people. We got to send in our people. And that's how it works. And so this is where these community trainings could take place. Youth ambassador trainings. We're trying to make all these entrepreneurs and all these other citizens. We need to make youth ambassadors, youth violence prevention specialists. We have to have those trainings so they can talk to their people. Because
Let me ask you a question.
that's really, I think, one of the only solutions we can do to meet them where they're at is to send in people they respect, people they look like them.
Let me
Yeah, I
ask you a
think that
question.
needs to happen nationally.
Should there be, you know, like how we had back in the day with the airways and things. They wouldn't allow certain things on TV or radio or the internet and all this. They don't have any. They're not policing what's being shown, what's being heard, and what's being viewed on any of the platforms, any of the TV or the radio. Man, they are just playing some ratchet stuff that's detrimental to these kids, and the adults won't be adults and say, "Hell no." We're not playing on the airwaves. We're not putting on the TVs. We're not putting in. If you put it on the video, you're going to be fine. Take it down. Take that shit down. Simple and plain. So we can stop it, and try to get a hold on it. Because, like you said, they're learning visually. They're learning by the ear, and the government won't step in and cut it off at the head. I mean, cut it off.
So here's the thing. I'm glad you said that. That is the exact mentality that I'm against. We're looking for another savior outside of ourselves. Look who you want to do it. You want the government to do it. No. Hold on. But you said the government won't censor or monitor the sites, and this is influencing our youth to make bad decisions. That's what you said in a nutshell. And again, we can't wait for the government to save us. Ain't nobody coming to save us. We gotta save us.
I said leadership. So they have to. Listen, we have leadership in our country, right? And we look to the leadership for our overall solutions.
So we should, but that's the problem. That's the problem. Why would we look outside of ourselves?
But we know we starts for us. We know it starts
from our community.
Well, we gotta use all avenues. That means leadership, household, community, whatever it may be, all avenues. And so we have. And so, who has control? Who has control of the airwaves?
Let's talk about that. Because in a way, you're right to some degree. Let's open that up. Let's unpack that. Yeah. So, what people don't understand, and again, this is the Timeless Thomas disclaimer. This is my stuff, right? And I'm Timeless Thomas, the Earth Angel. But what people don't understand, right, and what people fail to do the due diligence to even try to enter and overstand, right, is that leadership has their role to play in government and legislation, in some of the economical, all the political. That's what leadership can do, right? Now, that's all they can do. So when you expect them to act outside of their character, it's sort of like a football player plays football. So you can't expect maybe because there's a fire across town for him just because he's athletically inclined to go, put a fire out and hang with the fire department. Let the politicians politic. And what the grassroots community members and the community leaders and the churches and the school teachers and all of us, what we need to do is take a program, right, that we want to pilot and measure, because anything that can be measured can be funded. Take it to the community leaders. I'm going to tell you how to build relationships. Take it to the community leaders and say, look here, we're not trying to save the world. This is my zip code. This is the target caseload we're looking to affect or impact. Give us a budget to do X, Y, Z. That's how it works. But the problem is sometimes we want to assign the task to the wrong person. We want to go to the meeting and say, you guys aren't doing anything for the community. What do you want me to do, man? I went to college here. I signed up to either sign off on the bill, to sign off on the legislation, to vote yay or nay. You mean to tell me you want me to come out of academia and play the front line in your violent zip code? No, that's not how it works. So if we do the due diligence, if we do the work, if we put the programs together, this is where we need our scholars, where we need our leadership, our college graduates. If we put the programs together and take it and work hand in hand with the legislators, if we pull the council person, the mayor, the governor, and say, look here, we're going to do the work, you do the budget thing, and then when it's time to claim it, you claim it, because this is your zip code, you did finance it, let them claim it on a national and international level. That's their role to do that. So that way, now it's noteworthy in the bragging hierarchy. Now they can say, well, you see what we did in such and such a zip code. We sent the community leaders in, we got the clergy together, and we cleaned it up. And this is what it looks like from last year's numbers. But we don't do that. We want to say, oh, man, this guy got the grant money. That organization ain't doing nothing. And this council member didn't vote for the thing. That's not the way you approach networking. That you approach networking, let people play the position that they signed up to play, and don't ask them to play another position. Again, you'll never ask a center on the basketball court to be a quarterback on the football field. It just doesn't make sense. That's not what he trained for. That's not who he is. That's not his job. So we want to meet people where they're at. So if you are in leadership, if you're government, if you're clergy, if you're whoever you are, the only thing I want from you is what you signed up to do. So yeah, they come around, get the votes. If you signed up, if you say you're going to do this, if you elect me, what they're really trying to say, they don't know how to articulate that. What they're really trying to say is do what y'all got to do, and then come see me when the package is complete, and I can sign off on it. We can all claim to work together. That's what you use your legislators for them to sign off on something that you put together. Because once you want them to come out of their field of expertise and start doing the grassroots work with you, it doesn't make sense. It's not organic anymore.
But
So
Thomas,
put your
all I'm
things
saying
together and
is,
submit.
all I'm saying is, Thomas, we have to put some common sense laws in place. If you know that they're putting music out that is detrimental to the kids, talking about killing and murder, the videos, the erotic radio, cut it off, man. If you're not, if you hear certain words, cut it off. If something is certain playing, that's just common sense laws, man. Common sense. The adults are not using common sense strategies to help curb a lot of this nonsense. So whatever they're hearing, if they're playing this ratchet crap, cut it off. We won't allow. Sign a law. If it's on the TV, sign a law. No, we won't play it. You can't play it on the radio. You can't put it on the TikTok. You can't put it on the internet. None of it. Period. Finito. So
Yeah, but
it starts there. It starts there. And so if they won't do it in the household, if they won't do it on the ground level, somebody got to step up and do it.
here's the problem with that.
I don't see
And
the
again,
problem.
Vince, you're a good guy, man. You're somebody I really look up to. You're talented, and I like when you invite me on for dialogue. Here's the problem with that. That's unrealistic. We're past the cutoff level. We are in the digital era. So again, that's a good Flintstone plan, but we are far into the
Thomas,
we're
at one
far.
time, look, at one time, it was in place.
Listen, listen to the past. Hold on, listen to the past tense language you're using. Listen to the past tense language that you're using. At one time, it was. That's it. Use it.
You know who voted against it? Some of the white women females who wanted to be, quote unquote, no, let them speak their mind. Let them do this. It's okay. It's all this. It's all this. At one time, they didn't allow that. They didn't allow the cursing on the radio. They didn't allow the cursing on the TV.
But I just need you to. I need you to reference. I need you to reference your very last statement. At one time, past tense was.
So
That's past tense. We gotta meet the world where it's at right now. The world is where it's at. Okay? And again, the only way to impart any change is to first come into a higher level of acceptance. It is what it is. Every human at this point has access to a NASA-style computer as a Palm Pilot. That's access to international information. So it's too late to cut it off and say no cussing. Be clear about this too. The universe doesn't even speak English. Some of us are operating on frequency, signs, and symbols. So we can't pretend like language has anything to do with behavior. We can't even make that. We can't do that. That's not realistic. So
what I'm saying, hey, look, what I'm saying is, if they can't help themselves, we got to do it. The government has to do it.
Who is with?
I give you a prime example. I give you an example. If you got a household and the person is on food stamps, right? But they ain't feeding the kid nothing but cookies, cakes, ice cream. And then when the kid goes to the doctor, he's unhealthy. He's pre-diabetic. Somebody got to step in and help and take over.
This is what I'm gonna do. This is what I'm gonna do with you with that conversation. We're gonna table that and come back to that on a different live. Because that's a whole nother Pandora's box that I don't even want to open. So in fact, let me see the time. It's how much time we got. I've been on here for half. I'm gonna give you this half hour, but we're gonna close out with this. So we're gonna close out with this. Initially, you asked me my thoughts about Donald Trump and his having the National Guards or the military or whatever have a strong presence in Washington, D.C., which is basically the office of the country, right? And so I just want to double back on that as I close out. Again, I'm very supportive of a masculine, powerful, stern leader of the country. I'm very supportive of the way he's moving. And I just want to remind people that although there are great lights and glitter and opportunities in America and a lot of bells and whistles and smoke and miracles, we are still at war. This is a war. It's a war going on. So there are some people today that woke up dead. Their whole village got turned into a parking lot. These big billion-dollar deals don't get done unless somebody's village gets turned into a parking lot that day. So we have to be clear. America is just the land and all this bright glitter, but we are always at war. And so when other leaders are, anteing up and making other tactics that we're not privy to even know is even happening, we have to trust in the leadership of the country. Donald Trump, his family's here too. His businesses are here too. He don't want no weakness, and I'm with him. I'm with him. If you're weak, man, if you're too weak to stomach what's going on, here's the thing: God made the whole earth. Go move somewhere. Leave. And if you have trouble leaving, here's a solution. Start creating, start formulating your exit plan. Get low, get out the way. Because right now, what more do you need to see? If he's bringing the military home to the hood, to his set, then obviously there's some things we don't know about. Instead of us running around talking about, well, what's that going to do to the community? Maybe you better pay a little more attention. Maybe you better just worry about you and your household, and you get tighter. And you get your research together and your network and how you're going to move and what's right in front of us. A lot of times, we miss a blessing because we want to put a description on it. Donald Trump is a divine God-sent blessing. That's why mainstream's trying to market him some type of beast devil. He's a God in the flesh because he's transparent. He's not hiding anything. He says, look, this is what's going on, and this is what I'm going to do about it. Now the ball's in your court. He's been honest the whole time. This is what they might try to attack him and say, but was he at a Diddy party or something? Man, who cares? I don't care about his personal life, what he got in his closet. This guy says, look, this is what we're going to do. Now the ball's in your court for you and your family, you and the people that's in your constituency, you and your network. It's up to you to see how much resources you got in case it goes down to your community tomorrow. I have to ride with him. He's not doing anything wrong. Everything he's doing is on the table. He's not being underhanded. Even when he makes when you hear, man, he just made $1 million deal off of the thing. So what? We need our president to have enough money to fund more resources. They got bigger fish to fry in other places. We're not even privy to that. Like you say, we're having food stamp conversations. How dare somebody disrespect the leader of the free world? And that's it for me. That's it for me. I want to say this as a disclaimer. Again, I'm affiliated with a lot of associations, a lot of organizations, a lot of people brought into me, people pour into me, people got my back. I have advisors that hate Donald Trump's guts. And I go against them, just the same people I knew all my life. And I tell them, I say, listen, man, don't do that around me. I'm with the guy. Personally, I don't know him. I don't care to know him personally. I'm with the way he's leading the country. I'm supporting the strength because I'm not soft. I'm not no sucker. I got boundaries. And so I'm glad that our president has not only boundaries, he's under the or else legislation. He's like, look, we're going to do it my way or else. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. This is Darwin's theory happening right now in real time. Big fish eat little fish. I'm with it. I'm with the strength. Do it the U.S. way or else. Now, if somebody don't like it, wait till the next 4 years, vote him out, put your guy in. But as long as he's rocking, I'm rocking. Vince, thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure coming on the HBCU. This is such a big platform. And again, this is just my stuff, man. You guys get the book. I'm Timeless Thomas. I'm your Earth Angel. Vince, thank you so much, man. Sign me out.
All right. We'd like to thank you for coming on, man. Hey, listen, we'll have you back on. Hey, that food stamp, man. We got to talk about that food stamps, man.
Yeah, we'll come back to that. Another day, another Pandora box. Thanks, Vince. Peace, man.
Yeah, so, a conversation back, we were talking about, Donald Trump signs into legislation, bringing the troops into D.C. to what he called to quell the crime, homeless crackdown. I'm not sure if the reports are inflated or not, but hey, we'll wait and see. But today's show, we wanted to talk about that real quick, get some input. And what are your thoughts about Donald Trump? What are your thoughts? Chime in the comments, you know what I mean? So we'll see how it works out. We pray that the young men and young women out there who are watching also get yourself together. Can't be running up into the grocery stores and damaging your own grocery stores. You need that to live and to function. You got older people who need to get to the grocery store. They got medicine inside the grocery store. They got banks in there. So, don't destroy your own community. Up there, bring it up, not destroy. All right, we'd like to say, thanks for our guests to come on, today. If you also want to get a copy of his book, 101 Things You Should Know About Jail, you can find him on Thomas on YouTube, Instagram, and also Facebook. All right. So this has been A Seat at the Mic. This is Vince. I'm out.
HBCU Original presents A Seat at the Mic, where real voices from the culture speak their truth. New guests, bold topics, no filter, only on HBCU Original.